when you're in a true alignment with trusting God, you let go of wondering how it's going to get done. Instead, you latch on to what his promises are. And that's why it's so important. Like I've mentioned before, is you need to know his promises for your life. If you don't know the promises for your life, how are you going to know how to operate when it's there? If you're new here, my name is Jessica. I speak on your walk with God. I love to help others learn how to walk with God. And so if this is for you, continue watching. I remember there was a time when my first time that I realized I walked in faith and something that I learned that I did. I remember I was just about to graduate. I was turning 18 and my parents wanted to get me this vehicle that I've wanted honestly for 2 weeks. I didn't even know. I'd never been in this vehicle. I never got in it. I never drove it. I never experienced it. However, I would see it on the road and I'd be like, I like that car. Within 2 weeks, I got it, and it was the best thing I've ever been in. This particular vehicle, it was on the high end of what I can afford. I was able to afford it. I was living paycheck to paycheck. However, I was paying for it for 2 years, 2 years and a half, 2 years I think, 2 years and a half before I got into a car accident. I was paying for it like it was my thing. I never missed a payment. I never doubted that I couldn't pay for it because I knew what I wanted and I got it, right? And so when the 2 weeks that me and my dad were talking about what vehicle I wanted, and he was like, okay, well, I looked into it and it's gonna be this amount. And I had not even got a job that was a full-time job at that time yet. I was such in faith that I didn't realize I was in faith, but I was such in faith that I was like, God will provide. Like, it's okay. God is gonna work it out for me. And he did. I literally got the car on the week of my birthday. And then that same week, I had just applied at this job that I was already telling like others that I was going to get into. And I did, and I got it. And that I was going to help me pay my car off. And it did. And I got it. And so, but I got the car first and then I got the job. I didn't get the job and then I got the car. I use this to say that I never asked how though. I really didn't. Even when my dad tried to ask me how, I was like, well, I'm gonna get this job. Mind you, I didn't even apply probably. I was like, I'm gonna get this job. I'm gonna get this job. And I never asked how I was gonna get the job. I never asked, could I even qualify for this job? I never wandered in that state. I was such in a state of trusting. It wasn't until years later that I realized I used this and I could use it now again and again in my life. And so that was the first real faith leap that I did. And like I said, I never missed a payment. I never even asked anybody for money. Like I was paying this thing off. I used my job was paying for it. It was good. It was a moment where I was truly experiencing faith. As I've been walking with God, I realized that because the school system has trained us to wonder, why do things happen? How do things happen? XYZ, it's like we were not intended to operate in that way. And when I create content, when I create anything, I no longer question, how is this going to help others? How is this going to reach out to the people? Because at the end of the day, it's going to reach who it needs to reach, for one. And for two, it's out of my control. Once I release this, once I upload this video, however it turns out, whether I get one view or I get 1,000 views, like it's really out of my control. And this all goes to even the algorithm, like it's really out of people's control. It's just really what works, what ends up being the thing. There's really no true path. And so for so long, honestly, for years, I was stuck on this, how do I create content and like get myself to be seen by others? It was just, I lacked consistency because I was so focused on how can I make sure this video gets seen by lots of people, when it's really in the end all out of my control. And now I stopped questioning, how am I going to get people to watch this video? Instead, I just started trusting God. I started saying, God, you know what? Before I even put this video out, I already know it's going to reach whoever it needs to reach, even if it is one person, because that's the person you want it to reach. And I'm trusting you that no matter what, this person who's watching it right now is going to get the full benefit of what it needs, versus me trying to hold this information because I'm trying to make sure that this video gets thousands of views. And I never felt fulfilled because I was never actually putting out the content that I wanted to put out. Instead, I was putting out the content that I thought was going to go viral. And then I realized now that it's like, no, this is what I love to do. I love talking to people and helping people grow on their walk with God. So what do? And so I just created a channel. This is why Victorious is what it is, because my goal is to get people to learn how to walk with God. Now, those are the people that I want to see my video. Those are the people that I want to come into my life. Those are the people that I want to attract. I don't want everybody out here. There's 8 billion people in this world. I don't want all of them. I just want to reach the people that I need to reach, that want to learn how to walk with God just as eagerly as I love walking with God. It took all this time for me to realize that, because for so long I was trusting myself, which was trusting the resources of how to make your video go viral, how to do this, how to do that. If you've ever noticed, the videos that were less effort, no thought process behind it, tend to go more viral than the videos that were probably tons of hours put into just to make it try to go viral. And on again, every time I've done research, this is the same conclusion I came up with. The one who just put out a video and they just did what they did consistently, gained more followers, got more engagement, because and they did it authentically, because they had no thought process behind it. They were just operating in who they already are. Whereas when I was trying to create all these scripted videos and I tried to put up these things and I tried to make the best thumbnail, I tried to make the best title, I was unfulfilled because I wasn't doing anything that was filling for me and what I truly wanted to do and what I truly intend to do, which is to help people get closer to God. And so it just now hit me that I'm just going to be consistent. I don't care if anybody doesn't care to see this. I don't care if I even get one person per video for the rest of the year. That's fine with me. As long as am helping somebody, one person, which I've noticed that I've had get multiple comments on thanks for this video or certain things along those natures. I rather those comments, because that means I'm helping somebody and I'm doing what I've been called to do. And that's all that really matters. Next week, I'm gonna do it again because it's fun. This is what I love doing. This is what I am. And now that I've realized that, though, it only took me now to realize, okay, then I'm just gonna trust God. And so for you to also be able to take on to that journey is you don't need to know the answers. You don't need to know the answers of how something's going to work out. You don't need to know when is it going to work out. You don't need to even know what is this thing that God is calling you to do. As long as you feel it heavy in your heart. And this is something that I for so long struggled too, because when I was in this phase of, I know I want to talk to people. I know I want to come in contact with people and help people. How can I do that? I want to serve people. I kept asking those questions. Instead of allowing nature take its course and do what needs to get done, then those things will be filled. And then until I started operating in a place of, I don't need to know the answers, I trust God that it's going to work out, I felt more fulfilled. And I've probably never reached as many people as I'd like, but I feel fulfilled. I don't care. This is just a byproduct of my fulfillment. This isn't even like my full fulfillment. This is just something that I get to do out of love that I have for helping people. When you are in this lane, when you are trusting God, you cannot ask yourself, or you cannot ask how, when, where, what, why. Those questions are irrelevant. All you have to know is, I trust God, and follow that nudge that's telling you when to move, how to move in the moments that it tells you to move. No overthinking, no need to create a script or a dialogue or any of that sort. All you got to do is feel the nudge that tells you to pull forward, the nudge that tells you to go reach out to this person or do this thing or create this thing or draw this thing or paint this thing or whatever. It's whatever that is telling you. Listen to that nudge. That's God, that's Holy Spirit telling you when to move. And it wasn't until then that now that I've get those nudges, I'm like, oh yay, Holy Spirit's telling me to go create a video. Yay, Holy Spirit's telling me to go create content. Yay, Holy Spirit's telling me to go do this thing. I've been teaching my daughter how to skate. That's the nudge that I've been feeling. You know what? Coincidentally, this morning I was looking at my prayer journal or my vision journal, and I realized I have skates on there. And I'm like, we're going down the path, exactly the path that I needed. And I had not looked at that since January when I first created it. And it's March. Or it's April. I'm sorry, it's April. And so it's just follow the nudge. Follow the nudge that tells you what to do. Just trust God. Don't even have to question how, who, what, when, where, why. Those questions are irrelevant. Just know that you trust God. And when he's telling you to do something, you move because he's telling you to move. And it's that simple, but we make it so complicated because we just need to know the answers that the damn school system, excuse my language, the programming that the school system has got us into finding what the answers are for XYZ. It's irrelevant. It don't matter. It's unnecessary. When you trust God, you don't need to ask. You just do, and it'll be so. Lean on God, not on your own understanding. Simple. With that being said, I have a free devotional that you can download in the description, and soon I will have this book all done for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.